tell me. I am not to be one to be blamed. Please understand.
I don't blame anybody. You are telling me this. Hello.
अरे जाना कुछ नहीं खा रहे कहीं please sit down chips दे दे तो
Hello. Chips दे दे. Badly.
Only 2 of them are there. I will see. अंदर आ गई. चीज ये आ गई. अब क्या?
Bye.
Bye.
What time are you supposed to arrive, speaker? What time? And what's the time right now? Because of you, we have rearranged that full class. विजय क्या करना है?
हम लोग का एक किचन
अब ये बच्ची 5:35 को आई तो तुम्हारी क्या गलती है?
उनका लेक्चर हमारे पहले होता है ना.
हाँ, तो you all are arriving late. Yes, last week I waited for 1 hour. You all didn't turn up.
Mom, we informed you we have our examination.
I considered. After that, today what time you are supposed to arrive? 15 minutes late you have arrived.
हम ये डॉक्टर
आज ठीक है बेटा इनको जाने दो. उसको लेने दो मेरे को.
Thank you.
only one kid.
There are 3 of them. Only she turned up. I'll take one also kid. I don't care now. One also child comes. I take only one kid. Now even tomorrow, whenever your class is there, if one kid comes, I take only one kid. Go. Come in. You come in. Don't waste time. Please inform your parents. Vijay, what time is supposed to arrive? Seriously. And tomorrow you have a class schedule. You know that. Tomorrow 7:30 in the morning. Are you planning to come?
Mom, the main website is not working since.
Tell me tomorrow there is 2 hours there.
I'll come. It's my regular time. I'll come. I promise I'll come. Harry, I'm promising I'll come.
Okay, I'm not saying anything.
Morning 7:20 I'll be.
7:30 to 9:30.
I'll be.
Okay, 2 hour session. Because I want to finish your course also. Yeah, you are also our brothers.
I'll be.
Unnecessary they have. विजय उनके पेरेंट्स को बोलो. इसको तो बोलिए बोल रही है आ रही है कल आ रही है. साढ़े मैं उसको इन्फॉर्म करी तो बोलती कल आएंगी है. तो ये भी आई तो भी मैं क्लास लेती फिर. प्लीज बोल दो.
अब कौन सा स्कूल है?
Reliance.
2 छन रिलायंस के 1 छन इसके है.
Alia is not coming. She's out of class.
And the other character?
I don't know.
आपका एग्जाम खत्म हो गया ना?
हाँ.
हाँ.
So rhyme of the ancient marina. What is rhyme?
If there are 2 possible meanings, one is rhyme, the real rhymes, and the second can be possibly flaws. It means that winter flaws.
Okay. So we finish off the rhyme of marina.
No, ma'am started. We have done first
part is 2 parts.
36 lines are done.
Yeah. So rhyme of the ancient marina is this one. It is basically about how you will. What is the poem all about?
Till now I know that it's about an old story in which there were people traveling from.
He kills an albatross.
He justifies his action. People understand him and agree, but at last the ship stops moving because the wind stops, and everyone starts.
Whatever you do, you have to repent in this world. Yes. And repentance is the real forgiveness. Only when you learn to repent, that's why he was cursed, that you have to tell this to every person, and that will be your repentance. In short. Okay. Time of the ancient marina, the poet, critic, philosopher born in Devonshire, in country in southwest England, and the youngest of 14 children. Collaborating with Wordsworth on revolutionary lyrical ballads, you know what is a ballad, right? It's a story poem. Poems and rhyme, this is a ballad, Rhyme of the Ancient Marina, Christabel and Kubla Khan demonstrate poetry's carrying fantastic imagery. Okay? Because this poem is full of imagery.
Supernatural.
Yeah, and the first poem listen. First published, I don't know why this is coming like this. The first is lyrical ballads. This is the first published lyrical. It is written in a romantic style. Okay? Protagonist is ancient Marina as the narrator of the story. Poem is full of imaginative fantasy and supernatural elements. So we have in ancient Marina, you have your wedding guests, you have sailors, you have albosters, and you have your dead, the nightmare, life and death. Okay? Important of in this one, this is opening poem book he wrote in the lyrical ballad, very important in romantic poetry. Now, romantic period was that period where, like Wordsworth, they spoke about nature. You know, the romantic poets all explain how nature is, and nature is like nature will be everlasting, and nature emotion. You know, nature is the one which makes you feel alive, and nature makes you feel good. So that like daffodils, you have Williams Wordsworth daffodils. So it was a poem which talks about how the sight of the daffodil left an everlasting memory. You know, became and whenever he was sad or depressed, the sight of the daffodil revived him and made him feel joy. So that the romantic poet means he wrote about nature and emotions associated with nature. Okay, clear? So rhyme means ice stir or ice chunk, or rhyme, as I said, is a rhythm. Rhyme. Atonement. Now, this is what means you have to make amends for whatever mistakes, whatever sins you have committed. That's why the ancient time of the Marina had to keep on telling the tale of this story to everybody. Understood. That's also amends or reparation are made for an injury or wrong. So expiation. So that is commonly associated with Christianity as reconciliation with God. So you have to do your penance. Penance is what? You have to rectify your mistake. So voluntary self-punishment to make amends. So that's why he, as I said,
He had to accept his mistake.
yes, and had to keep on. So this is what for the agent to be forgiven. He must go through the stages of confession, remorse, and penance. Understood? He had to talk to the hermit. He was ultimately went very bad. And then ultimately he now must spread the word that we should do things like this. So, theme is sin and repentance are the central themes, and they come in the terrible sin is the albatross, and one of the most God's beloved creatures. Okay, and the rhyme was warns the reader to danger the acting without regard for the consequence. You know, to act without thinking of what is going to happen. So the ancient Marina, when he kills the albatross, he doesn't think that there can be repercussions for this. So that's why this was it. Okay, the Marina shot the albatross because he believed that it was an ill omen. The wind had begun to die, and he and his crew blamed the bird. So that's why he decided to kill without thinking that what can happen. The poem is about an ancient man sailed past the equator and was driven by storms through the cold region to the south pole. You know, equator time there's a lot of storm. Bermuda Triangle is also there. The ships get lost there. And from thence she sailed back to the tropical latitude of the Pacific Ocean. And then how the ancient Marina cruelly and inhospitably killed a seabird called the albatross, and how he followed by many and strange visitors. So after he killed, there were a lot of incidents which happened because he killed without thinking that what can happen, and also how he could come back to his own country. So in the ancient Marina, and he stopped at one of the by died of great fear and deeply died from red coast of Downy. So the bridegroom closed up open wide and iron next of his skin. The guests are met, the feast is dead, raised here the merry hymn. So here it starts, the poem starts with the Marina catching the eye of the bridegroom. He's catching on the bridegroom and he's telling his tale. Because that is a part of his penance. Understood? So the first time poet introduces the central character, the old Marina. He is the protagonist of your poem. Okay? Main character is the protagonist of the poem. and thus because without any introduction, he's not giving you know every point which is certain introduction. But you said it's like he stopped one of B. One of B is one of the
Wedding
wedding guests. And by long beard and little eye from where to stop. Now we have long beard and your eyes are glittering. Why have you stopped? So the bridegroom doors are wide open and his next of kin. So means the person he stopped was the next of kin, his relative. Alright. And the guests have met the pieces and my guests here the wedding and he says like you know the dinner table is set and everything and I have to go because I'm the next kin of the I'm the relative of the bride. Okay.
What is
bridegroom?
mace?
Sorry.
Means you are the mace.
Mace means you can hear the melody. May you hear the melody. So here, this here is the meaning. The mariner stops and details one of the three wedding guests who are going to attend the marriage feast. Okay. Then we come to the third line of them. We have introduced the wedding guests who surprised by the strange mariner's audacity to stop him. So why are you stopping? You can't hear the music which is playing, the wedding music which is playing. Why have you stopped me and why have you have such a strange appearance? Okay. So he notices two striking features. What are the two striking features?
His long grey beard and his glittering eyes.
Correct. His long and his shining eyes. And the very is annoyed by the mariner who stopped him. And asks him, why did you stop me? Why have you stopped me? He says that the doors are wide open to welcome guests and I am a close relative. I said that him means relative.
Next family.
So he says I am a close relative of the bridegroom's family and my presence at the wedding is a must. So definitely if it's like you know your
Close family
uncle
member.
or your that's why have to be present there. He says the wedding feast has been laid on the table and I can hear the happy sounding and singing and dancing. So definitely the feast has begun because there's a lot of singing and dancing. The melody indicates the marriage festivity and the personal appearance of the marina is gradually developed. He holds him with his skinny hand. There was a ship quoth he. Hand off and hand me great. Your loon, if Kusun's his head dropped he. So he's taking a holding him in his hand. And then he says, don't hold me, loon. Loon is a lunatic or mad person. Unhand me, please keep my hand and all that. And he drops his hand. Okay. So where gives a detail of Marina's long brain. Third standard talks about that his lean and thin hand. In this standard, Marina physically stopped the wedding day but catching hold of that, narrating his story of the wedding that there was a ship. However, the guest is found an unusual strange to hold his hands and says, therefore, my crazy fellow at once lets go of the wedding his hand because he knows he can hold his wedding guest's attention otherwise.
Due to his glittering eyes.
Yes, and no, he got there was a ship. He starts with the story, and that catches
Which
the
he
attention.
was
Yeah,
seeing.
that yes. Why are you so tired in life?
All in that.
That's why. Are you fasting?
Yeah, and I'm doing that.
Fasting everything that I'm not supposed to
No, I skipped school.
do today. No, 9 days. Lovely. He holds it with his glitter. No, the previous stanza was that. Now he holds it with his glittering eye, the wedding gets stood still. And this is like a 3-year child, like you know how young child is. We use a simile. Like a 3-year-old child, I think simile. How 3-year-old child is curious to your stories like that. Okay? The marina had his will. Had his will means he had him in his will and he would tell him the story. In the fourth chapter, poem narrates a hypnotic spell which is placed on this wedding guest. Alright, and instead of holding the guest's hand, Marina now holds him with his glittering hands. And the wedding guest adds on being
Glittering
hypnotized.
eyes, right?
Yeah, glittering eyes.
You said glittering hands.
Sorry, glittering eyes. And the wedding guest on being hypnotized with the Marina listens to him obediently and helplessly. The last one sentence has two connotations. The Marina succeeded in having his way and he succeeded in doing what he wanted to do, that is to tell the story. Okay, so that's why it has two connotations, two meanings. So to make the wedding guest listen to the story, that is the two connotation. So the marina succeeded in getting full control of the wedding guest by making him agree to listen to the story. And that was his penance, huh? That was what he was. He had to make sure that the other person listens to the story. The Venus sat on the stone, he cannot choose but love, but thus they spake on that ancient man, the bright-eyed mariner. And he sat on the stone which was there, and it was not he was hypnotized, so he couldn't he couldn't help it but listen to the story what this one is saying. And the bright-eyed mariner began his tale. Okay, thus spake on that ancient mariner. So that means he spoke to the wedding guest. Alright. In the fifth stanza, the hypnotized wedding guest sits on the stone and is left with no option but to hear the mariner. And who has hypnotized him with his glittering eyes. Since the wedding guest had been hypnotized by the ancient mariner, hence he is helpless and cannot exercise his own will. And so he is compelled to listen to the bright-eyed mariner's story of sin and suffering. It begins the story of sin and suffering. How he had committed sin. The ship was cheered, the harbour cleared, merrily did we draw. Below the curve, below the hill, below the light, we found stop. So he begins how the journey of the ship began. Okay. So the ship was here. So he's talking about friends and relatives. They were cheering goodbye, and then this started off. And they left the harbour, and they quickly entered the sea. And after entering the sea, they went along with the ebb of the sea. Okay. And the ship sailed from the coast to the church, to the hill, and the lighthouse on the top of the hill disappeared from the sailor's view. Okay? In this time, the mariner began the storyline of when the relatives gave a cheerful send off when a ship set sail. And the ship crossed the harbour very quickly, entered the main sea water. The ship sailed away happily from here, below the curve, unaware, because here happily because they were unaware of the disaster that will await their ship, that will happen to their ship, right? They were merrily sailing along with the ebb of the tide, with the tide, along with the tide they went this one. And you know what is ebb, right? How does the tide go? It goes up and down, right? So it is like this tides. Yeah. As the ship sailed along the coast, the church, the hill, and the lighthouse of the top it disappeared from the sailors.
Because they went away from
from the top, below the hill, below the lighthouse top. So everything started disappearing slowly. The sun came up upon the left, out of the sea came he, and it shone bright on the right, went down into the sea. So he saw the sunrise on the left hand side, and it was sailing now. The sun is on the left hand side, and sailing towards the south. Okay, and it was a very picturesque one, and the sun seems to rise from the sea and set in the sea. And here he said it was shining brightly on the right of the fish. Okay, right of the ship. He is personification. Yeah, he is personification. Yeah. So the mariner said the sun rising on the left hand side of the ship, and this means the ship was sailing towards the south. It was a picturesque touch in this place. Picturesque because it's imagery, visual imagery.
About the sun.
Yes. And the sun seemed to rise and set into the sea. He uses sea refers to sun here to rising from the sea, and the mariners further say that it was shining brightly on the right side of the ship. It has an internal word end at the first phrase, rising at the end of the second phrase. EC. Okay. Left, right. Internal right. Higher and higher every day till over the mast and moon, the wedding guest here beat his breast, for he had heard the loud bassoon. Bassoon is a musical instrument. Okay, so here says the sun was gaining higher and higher. In noontime it was right up to the height, right? Each day, and it was nearing the equator. Equator is the most hottest spot of the earth, right? So it was nearing the equator when the sun was directly on the mast of the moon. Mast is that that stick.
It's the center.
The center, and that the sails are attached.
Yeah, got it.
Okay. You have seen Peter Pan, you see that he's always on the mast. There's a
circular thing at the top.
yes, kind of a balcony kind of a thing. Yeah. So that's all. In this marina, the sun seems to attain their height with the passage of each day, meaning that the ships who are sort of यही आने वाली है सर, इसी का मैं खत्म करने वाली, वो दोनों आए नहीं है मेरे को नहीं अनुभव, क्योंकि दूसरी वाली है घूमने के लिए, वो छुट्टी पे है नहीं, और ये तीसरा वाले का मेरे पास फोन नंबर नहीं है, देख लो. वही. Once this is over, ancient marina, what is left? That's it.
Patal Babu, Virtually True, and Snake. We did Snake. We did Snake.
No, I don't remember. Page Marina is 1, 2, 3,
And Julius is
4. And then MCB is there. What is that?
MC.
MCB is there.
Grammar is done.
All the grammar concept is done.
Email is done. Letter is done. Paragraph writing is also done. We did that already. So yeah, only literature and then MCB.
To give me a really happy news. However, sudden new sound of the person, what I was doing.
We have our 3 books from November.
That's why I want to finish it. Why I'm so upset in life. That's why we're having Sunday class, you understand? When the sun ship came up to the equator, the sun was directly over the mast of the ship, and like it was noon at the equator. And there was sudden sound of person who diverted the hypnotized wedding guests' attention and protested his full forceful detention and was showing impatience and displeasure. So he was very irritated, like he's keeping him, why is he keeping him here and why do he has to Basoon is a musical instrument.
I think it's played when the bride enters.
The bride had faced into the wall, red as a rose is she, nodding again with the civilian. Red as a rose, she's compared to a rose. Nodding the heads before her goes the very ministry. Ministry is basically the bag, which is the so that is what I'm like to say. So the first the ministry will come and then the bride will go. Last the entry. So the wedding guest is recovering his consciousness. Notice that the wedding ceremony has started. The bride's smooth face, so that beautiful as the red rose, was being brought into the hall in the accompaniment of singers and musicians who were moving their heads as if they were singing and leading the bride to the hall. Alright? The word pace here is more musical and poetic. It has walked and entered. And it's suggestive of the bride's elegant gait. You know how slowly and very gracefully she walks. So that is why pace is used. Got it? And whereas the wedding guest as red as a rose is, similarly when the poet to the wedding guest says that the bride is as beautiful as a rose. The meaning of ministry is a body of singers and musicians who lead the bride to the hall. I have told you that. I just read this because I can explanation sometimes. The wedding guest, he beat his breath, yet he cannot choose but hear, but spoke on the aging mat to bright-eyed Marina. So like the wedding guest wanted to just get out from there, wanted to go for the wedding, but he was still hypnotized. This Marina had control over him and then kept him to the story. So those to the point that despite all his protests, the wedding guest is not allowed to go. And the ancient Marina continues to narrate his story. This is because the Marina has hypnotized him and now the guest has no option but to hear the story of the bride, right? Ancient Marina. As I said, it was cursed. If you have to keep on telling me on chain. And now the storm blast came and he was tyrannous and strong. He stuck with his overtaking wings and chased us south along. So it talks about, like, you know, how he is the storm. You're the storm is personified. Okay? And he says that like this was chasing him. So he said in stanza, he said the storm blast came and was tyrannous and strong. Tyrannous is like a dictator, right? Cruel, soul, yeah, like a dictator. And strong. And he struck his overtaking wings and chased us south along. So the ship was chased towards the south. Read.
In this stanza, the mariner resumes his narrative by creating thrill and excitement from the very first line of the stanza. The mariner says that a strong sea storm rose. He, in the third line of the stanza, refers to the storm. The storm has been personified as a very violent and fierce. The storm overtook the ship, which was caught in its fury. It is to be noted that the storm has been compared to a huge and swift bird of a prey or a winged monster that pounces upon the ship. Its prey. The ship was forcibly driven by a storm toward the south. They had to go to the south.
Yeah, so that's why the overtaking his wings is that it is portrayed as a bird. Bird as a bird of prey. Like the eagle or the kite and all that vulture.
Very strong.
Yeah.
Very big.
Yes. And that is what the storm is compared to. Okay?
I think we'll finish part 1.
Yes, that is my wish.
And tomorrow we'll finish the
Part 2.
two.
Yes, and then we will start with the next. Yes. not same. We don't go poem. We do make a break of poem after that. I will do a lesson. We do a lesson. That gets over. Then one more lesson, and then you will see the that. Like,
Julius Caesar is long.
it's long, but it's okay. The sloping mass and dripping proud, as he pursued that yell and bow, still tread the shadow of his foe. That forward went his head, the ship rode past, loud roared the blast, and southward airy fled. So, it's talking about how the ship moved forward with full blast. Okay, as is as if the enemy was behind it. Who is an enemy, right? So, as if enemy was behind it. And then he's running fast and bending forward, and the drove past and drove the blast and southward air we fled. So southward they were free from as if they were storm was the enemy. Alright, so here. In these lines, the mariners in the ship was went forward by the force of the wind.
I'll read it if I have a doubt.
Yes. I prepared all this note for so long and kept it because of your dictum. I not you, that other character. Ali.
Okay, now what is I?
I
And southward IV for?
and speak. Old English. What is pro you understood?
Yeah, it's given in the front part of the ship. That part.
What I said that here it is, it's
Full
the word that is
part.
given.
Full up.
Okay, clear? And now they came with mist and snow in blue wondrous coat, and ice month high came floating by as green emerged. So you can see the here about South Pole when you're going, you're talking about how it's very misty and snowy and cold and icebergs are there. So that's what he's talking about. And these icebergs were as high as the ship.
Okay.
Okay, and this is the northern lights, the greenish and
Okay.
Okay, these are the northern lights. So the iceberg look like emerald. They look like emerald. I don't write the northern lights, but I'm giving an example like how the
Not
northern
just for
lights.
explanation.
Yes, understood. The Okay. So it's now from the equator, now they're going to the south. Now the weather has changed. Now it becomes chiller and colder, and now that cold
It's not that much better.
yes, and it is as green as emerald. It is again a simile. Wherever as and light comes, it becomes simile. Yeah? And through the drifts, the snowy cliffs send a dismal sheen. Not shapes of men nor beasts again, the ice was all between. So they couldn't make out because of this ice everywhere, they couldn't make out of any figures. And this because it was so cold. And it's talking about how icebergs and ice are drifting. You see ice age, remember? The ice
Was floating everywhere.
yes, so it was like that, floating ice, drift was that. So floating ice was there, and it was very cold, being cold, it gives you very sad and gloomy. Remember, cold puts you down. You see the sunshine in the cold one, feel
Makes
very
you joyful.
but in the earth is reflecting the weather because of that it was sad and gloomy. So he says that the drifts is a floating ice. Okay, and the ice was shining present the sad and gloomy side. It was a very sad because nowhere any habitation, nothing was visible. Okay. He further said they could not see any human being or any animal in the cold region, as huge masses of blocked the way. So there was icebergs everywhere, icebergs were visible. And the extended spread of ice all the ship emphasized the reputation of ice here, there, all around. That means in all, ice was all around. The ice was here, the ice was there, and ice was all around. It cracked and growled and roared and howled at noises in a swamp. So again, ice is being personified. Alright, it is growling, it is roaring, it is howling, and it is noises in a swamp. That means collectively when you make this noise.
It is wrong.
Around, like noisy like a sound, it means basically, here it means that the cracking of the iceberg, how loud it is. So everywhere you can hear sound of the sound.
Also, the icebergs were cracking.
Yeah, sound is given to you in your reference.
Of painting fit.
Yes, sound as in you're falling down, right? But here it is
The icebergs are falling.
cracking, yes, and breaking and of pieces and falling in the sea.
So that's distorted.
Yes. Because everywhere it is the same sound, no, all together you can hear the sound. That's what we mean.
The extent and spread of ice all around the ship have been emphasized with the repetition of the words like ice over there and all around. In all there was ice around. The words cracked, roared, howled, collectively convey the meaning to the sound they produce.
Understood.
Yeah, but the spreading of a huge chunks of ice and the sliding and falling into the sea has been described here with these onomatopoeic poetic words. Besides these, there is also simile in like noises in a sound. This means that the noise produced by the spitting icebergs such as the distant thundering and rubbling heard by a person in a painting. And now,
Yes. You know how the earth rotates when you're painting?
oh,
As and now it becomes very, very loud.
yeah, so that's like now it's very.
Now have you understood? That's why the painting bit is given there. Because everything, the whole world rotates around and when the sound becomes louder and louder, you know how
It's
it
such annoying and tricky.
yeah, you are painted that means. You are painted. Wow. But next such a way that we are definitely painted. At length, I only know about movies painting. I never thought we do this one. Anyway, at length it crossed an albatross through the fog it came. And if it had been a Christian soul, we hailed it in positive. Albatross is supposed to be a holy bird, okay? And it is like when this whole thing was really sad and disturbing, at that time this albatross appeared. Alright? And through the fog it came because it was foggy, nothing was visible, right? And as it had been a Christian soul, we hailed it in God's name. So it was like they called it in God's name because they thought it was a welcoming sight. After the movie and this one, some living bird coming, so they thought it was a this one said.
Signs and that. In this part of the poem, we are introduced to the albatross, who plays a pivotal
Religion is important.
role in the poem. Continuing his narration to the wedding day, the mariner says that after a considerable time had passed, an albatross came through the floor. The albatross is a very large, chiefly white oceanic and an ice-winged, stout-bodied bird that has long, narrow legs and is mainly found in the Pacific and Southern oceans. The mariner considers and compares the bird with the Christian soul and hails it in God's name. It is to be noted that the albatross was the first living being the sailors came across in the region of mist and snow. Believing that it was just like him, a creature of
Like
God,
that.
like them, a creature of God, the sailors welcomed it on board their ship. Its arrival lifted their spirits and brought them home.
Because after seeing Julius, this is somebody alive and all that.
Someone new.
Imagine you are stranded like on a ship and then suddenly see some ship,
Yes,
very
very
hopeful. That kind of hopefulness came. It ate the food it never had, and round it flew. The ice did split with 100 feet, and the helmsman steered us through. Helmsmen are the, like in the beginning of the the boat to steer the boat. They are the ones who are steering the boat. So it ate the food that they were carrying. It never had. Basically, they were carrying the food and it ate the food. And round the ship it flew. And the ice did split with thunder wind. You know, ice splitting everywhere there is ice also there. And the helmet, like whenever the ice splitting, it splits, so you have a gap which have to steer through. So the helmet is steering the ship through those rapid icebergs. Okay?
Talking about albatross, the mariner says the sailors gave it food and they were carrying for themselves. The bird had never had such food earlier, and it was hovering over the ship because there was food there. The albatross cut the eyes of the iceberg and made a way for the ship. Then the ship started moving and the started steering the ship. The sailor, in fact, skillfully managed to steer the ship
through the gap. So wherever.
So the bird like made way for them. Then
Yeah, cut the eyes of the iceberg and made way for the ship.
it's possible for a bird to
No. It is just flying around and just basically showing them the way to get through that. In that sense. Understood?
that.
How will it make the answer? But it is a poet's imagination. Poetic name it says. Poetic license, not device. Poetic license.
I'm getting behind.
I know, you just finished your exam, 5 and 9, 10. Will really empathize with you. And a good south wind sprung up behind. So this albatross become a positive force, right? So after that, a wind started blowing, right? And the albatross will follow, and every day for food or play came to the mariners follow. So they would come to the ship and for maybe for food or to play with the mariners, and that's what it did. So at this, like they got this south wind, which was very favorable. They would move forward, and every day this albatross would come to the ship. They would eat or they would play, and then they would go. Now the journey was smoother. Understood? Before that they were stormy. Now it is smoother.
The mariner further said that now a favorable south wind began to blow from behind. The albatross was still following the ship and would come and sit on the mast or the ropes, tying the sailors to the mast. Every night responded to the mariner's call to take food or to play with him and other sailors on the boat. I just didn't get the second name.
What?
Mast, come and sit on the mast. What is the mast?
I guess I told you Mars, Peter Pan.
Oh, that's it. Oh, I should write it down. Sorry.
Please write. The center, that's a ship where it holds all the sails now. That's why there are ropes and all that tied to the mast. In the midst of cloud, a mast or shroud, it perched with westwards 9, while all the night through fog and white, river the moon shine, white shine. So it is talking about here. What does the sun shroud means? Mean?
Sail.
Huh?
Sail.
Sail.
Sail. Sail. S-A-I-L.
S-A-I-L. Okay. And all the vespers.
Vespers 9 of its time every day.
Yes. And fog. The sun.
Perched.
Perched is sitting. Okay. So what basically it would come and sit on the mast, and at that particular time, the sails
Fixed time.
Yes, fixed time evening prayers are recited. Got it? In the church or in that on the ship also. Okay. And the moon would shine blinking. Moon to also not remember the moon shine through the white fog. Okay. So here you find that now the sky is overcast with clouds, and it is like mist is all around, and the nights were very foggy, and you have through the fog you can see the moonbeam shine. Alright? Vespers refers to the prayer in churches. That's why I said during the prayer time. The Vespers 9 can mean a period of 9 days. 9 days. Navaratri. 9 is a magical number fascinated Coleridge, whereas the word shroud here stands for the same.
Quality.
And the poet,
Oh.
he was fascinated with number 9. Read.
This entire thing.
Yeah, maybe for your own self, read if you don't want to, because you don't understand us.
So now it was the weather getting a little less foggy and snowy.
It was evening time. Evening time, there is like it is overcast. The sky is
Slightly
overcast.
cold, which is very
Yeah, slightly cold.
Yeah, understood. Next. Last 5.
God save the ancient mariner from the fires and the plague he does. Why lookst thou so with crossbow? I shot the albatross. So now he looked very terrified. He was very shocked because God saved the ancient mariner. Because it's basically say God save you. Like, may God have mercy on you, okay? Because the wedding guests could see that fear on his face. He knew that something unforeseen had
So
happened.
this was said by the wedding guests.
Yes. And like, he says, will you be protected from the find is a devil. Okay? That tortured him. And like, why are you looking choked? Why are you looking so terrified? Why are you looking so scared? So he says, I shot the albatross. That's why I looked so dead.
So in the first poem,
Yeah.
he explains how the build-up of the story, and then in the last he says that he shot the album. His realization and gets something to say.
Yes. And that's what he had, like, without thinking, killed him. The bird had not done anything to him,
It
right?
was helping him out.
Yes. And then, without any reason, he kills the albatross and he hangs that creature on the ship. And that's where the turning point of the life and how disaster strikes him. Yes, that was a very long one. These are
That's
last.
short. 2 pages.
That will come to you tomorrow. We
What is one term?
want to live carelessly without thinking of the consequences.
What?
Very important paragraph, because this is where your turning point of the story happens, and this is why he is taught the wedding guest, because he has to pay his penance. He has to do his
Now
penance.
the wedding is realized why they have to listen.
Okay. The balance measure, it basically because James is ran by storytelling, the poem's contribution to give the Marina's discourse. Discourse is its telling way of telling the poem. Okay. Between the Marina and Marina, a set of both of enigma.
What is anything?
Enigma is when you cannot understand why it was.
Oh,
Okay. Enigma when you can't understand. Or the person who's the Marina, what is the story? Whenever the Marina repeats the story, the poem is dealing with the reconstruction of Marina's identity with the discourse of Julius. The vision of the sea, the first impression of sea of ice, the crew at first encountered the palace of nature, operating as a prison. Because remember that craft is the iceberg, so that is what this is. And the marina or less than a member of human community, the imprisonment is temporal and albatross frees the ship.
it helps them get out of
Yes.
the
The second imprisonment is silencing, the visionary element of the psychological imprisonment of painting ship in our sense is the next one. Splitting of the marina going.
because we haven't got into that.
Yeah. The albatross is hanging on the marina.
At the end they punish him and they
Yes.
proceed.
Crucifixion is also there.
We'll finish it in half an hour next class. Then that's for
See, this is read this. You have a question on this one.
split into 7 sections and we only have
You too.
I mean, numbers. We are left to do the second part. It's the conclusion.
But this is what it is. The shooting and unpremeditated and unmeant the journalist must be accounted for. So every action will have a reaction. Understood? Every action has a reaction, like that every action has a consequence. You have to face the consequence. And that is the rule of your life. Understood? Yes.
The snake is boring.
Let's see this one. Question is, has the marina found redemption? The answer would be no, he has not. Redemption brings peace and the marina has not found this peace. The primal senses, which makes it more difficult for anyone to understand or forget, even the hermit. He says he had been given a permanent penance to perform and watering the earth and telling his story. That's why he's tackling everybody and telling the story.
What is hermit?
Hermit is sadhus who lead the worldly life. Right? So, and while he may experience a brief period of serenity for after each, the guilt inevitably returns and he must go through the cycle again. Lessons have been learned by the mariner to pay the price for his sin for eternity. This is what tomorrow the next time we do. How many minutes are left?
One.
Tomorrow, I told you,
We'll do Ranotation Marina, then we'll do Patrol Babus.
yes.
And then we'll, if we have time,
Under Babu is still long. You will not be able because 2 hours we have.
then should we do virtually too? Is it small?
No.
So we'll try to do Patrol Babu, and if there is time left, we'll try to do this thing.
No, we'll see. Because that is the only thing which is left. And then your Julius season. Then your MCB. MCB is left.
MCP can be done even after
That's what
level
I'm saying. No, but not after people will try to do it before we will, because that's a type of comprehension. Your passage will come from there. You can't do after pre-boards. This was more important, that's why I concentrated only on this. And grammar concept, any grammar concept which you want,
I got my English marks.
and
I got 55.
out
50. I have a very valid reason and still very valid.
give excuses.
If I'm not given an excuse, I studied everything, but the videos I wasn't able to write and express it. Because I pulled my tricep muscle just like 3 days before my exam started. So like in all the papers, I wasn't able to write that much. But I got full in grammar.
That cannot be an excuse, no, sweetheart, during your boards. If I pulled this muscle, I pulled that muscle, take a painkiller, give your exam.
I took 3 painkillers. I applied like the strongest relief balm possible.
Otherwise, for a cold to come, people are right.
Because like I don't want to give a retest because retests are always easier.
Right.
But then my spelling mistakes and my format and all of them would be like spelling mistakes wouldn't have been counted. So someone else would be writing. And I wanted to test myself. That's it's a friend people when I do that.
Yeah, okay, I think you understand. You will do well, that I know. I'm not doubting you. But sometimes